Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're highlighting a case from Flint, Michigan. In the early morning hours of July 1st, 2025, a woman was found lying on a sidewalk, severely injured. It was her 50th birthday. Investigators say she had been severely beaten and stabbed multiple times. Surveillance cameras would later capture two people running from the scene. Months later, no arrests have been announced, and investigators are still trying to determine who may be responsible and what exactly happened in those early morning hours. This is the story of Taswala Williams. Taswala McCall Williams was 50 years old, a mother of five, a grandmother, and a graduate of Northwestern High School. To her family, she was someone who carried a quiet kindness. Her daughter, Sherelle Massey, said, "My mom is the strongest woman I know. She's been through so much, and she's still so kind, so driven. I admire her strength." They described her as gentle, a woman of faith who did her best to show up for others, even in small, everyday ways. To those who knew her, she was a steady presence, the kind of person who brought comfort just by being there. Her family also shared that Taswala lived with mental health conditions, including schizophrenia and episodes of psychosis, conditions that can make daily life more difficult and at times may increase a person's vulnerability. Sometime between 3 and 6 o'clock a.m. on July 1st, 2025, Taswala Williams was attacked near Marion Hall in the 500 block of Martin Luther King Avenue in Flint. Investigators say she was severely beaten and stabbed multiple times. But what happened in those hours has not been fully detailed. She was found lying on the sidewalk with serious injuries. She was transported for medical care, where she remained in critical condition. 2 days later, on July 3rd, 2025, she died from those injuries. As investigators reviewed the area, they found surveillance footage. The video shows two individuals running from the area around the time of the attack. Investigators have not said what role, if any, these individuals played, but they believe they may have information about what happened. In 2026, the footage was released to the public in hope that someone would recognize them and come forward. And that detail, the video, becomes one of the most important pieces of this case. It raises the question of whether someone may have seen what happened in those moments, or may know more than is currently known. As the investigation continued, more questions began to emerge. What brought Taswala to that area during those hours? Was this a targeted attack or a random act of violence? And in a case like this, in a public space, were there witnesses to what happened? Investigators have not publicly outlined a motive, and many details surrounding what led up to the attack remain unclear. For Taswala's family, this loss is deeply personal. They have described her as someone who brought light into their lives, a woman who was loved and should still be here. In the months since her death, they have continued to speak out. Her older sister, Taswala Williams, said, "Life is hard, missing her smile, missing her calls. It's hard for the whole family, knowing that somebody is still out there." Her loved ones continue to ask for answers and for accountability, hoping that anyone with information will come forward. As of the latest reporting, this case remains unsolved. No suspect has been publicly identified, and no arrests have been announced. A reward of up to $2,500 is being offered for information that leads to an arrest. Investigators continue to review evidence and follow leads as they try to determine what happened. Anyone with information related to the case of Taswala Williams is urged to contact Crime Stoppers in Flint, Michigan. Anonymous tips may qualify for a reward and could help move this investigation forward. Our thoughts are with Taswala Williams' family and loved ones. As we close out this episode, remember, sharing her story helps keep her story in the light and supports the continued search for answers. For updates and more cases, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Reach out if there's a story you believe deserves attention. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.